This is Sharon Bremner. I am actually coming to you for the first time to introduce myself as a self-awareness coach, helping you to understand yourself better. Today we have Roz and myself here to talk to each other. Now, we talk usually every day anyway, but today I've decided to come onto My Time TV Live and introduce myself. I'm Sharon Bremner. I have been in my own business for at least 15 years on my own and another 15 years with my ex-husband in a self-employed capacity. And I thought, what was the common denominator about why clients keep coming back? And one of the things that my clients have told me is that they enjoy the stories that we interact with and the fact that I always leave them feeling good and calm. So I decided that I would say hi and be here. So I'm actually in a room that is not set up with all of my lights and everything else. But Roz has been pushing me to talk to you. So welcome, Roz, and thank you for that.
Hi, Sharon. Pushing you would probably be a bit of an understatement. It's taken a little while, but that's okay. Because I know when I started doing the live streaming, which was quite a few years ago, it was with the older Google Hangouts on air. It was really it was an interesting pathway to actually get the learning through the post, because there was a fair bit of a learning curve with that one, the Hangouts on air, that is, and through the nerves of being live out to the world, because it was that big world and global. You get, even now thinking back on that time, I'm starting to think, oh, the nerves. It was a real experience, but once you actually cracked that first nut, it was fine. And I even went on to actually being a co-host of one of the shows, live camera HOA, and that was with Melanie Hall. The shows then were actually automatically downloaded into YouTube, so effectively you didn't have to do a great deal afterwards, but it was certainly the prior leading into it that you had to be quite aware of how well you set things up and the gear you had. Gee, with how we're having to do it now, you can describe how you actually set up, because it's dead easy.
Yeah. Look, I don't have a problem really being talking to anybody on video, because we talk every day. But the problem I have is that I sort of wanted to be perfect and put everything, all my ducks in a row, and chat to everybody and have all of the thing. But I decided that I would just come in and have a chat and say to you, everybody. So it's really good to say hi to Adair. Hi, Adair. And hi to... from South Africa, I've got Nita here, so yeah. That's really lovely, and Shushma. So Shushma, there you are. So yeah,
very interesting names when you start getting the global presence coming in.
Yes. Hi everybody. It's really nice to see you all. And basically, I've sort of been sitting down with a whole group of post-it notes and talking and saying to myself, well, what can I do with some suggestions to chat to everybody online? So, and one of the things is, do I need to have all the answers? Because really, no matter how much we hide from ourselves, other people see whether we're good at it or not. So no, we don't need to have all the answers, but we always think that we need to. So,
but it's also, don't forget, it's not really a thing about being good enough or not. It's actually just being yourself, because that's really more what people are picking up on. That's the person that they want to know, is actually who you are in whatever it is that you're doing. You're not trying to be somebody else. You're just being you. And the best way of doing that is, well, what I've found over time, is to just get on and do your show. Ask the questions of a guest that you have on, or present something as, things that you actually know, not stuff that you you really need to be learning up just so you think you know your stuff, because it doesn't come across as being, I suppose, natural, original. So, oh, what's the Adelaide conference? I'm not even looking at what the Facebook, you know, we've got there in the comments.
You know, if you can put a link for the Adelaide conference for the Global Women's Empowerment conference.
Yeah.
And yes, there, please give it to us, and I'll pop it up for everybody that can see it. Because it's really interesting, Ros. At this moment in time, I've been looking at some of the things online, and listening to some of the people that I've joined, because as you can imagine, all of us, we're learning all the time. We're on a global stage. We are listening via the internet, so therefore we're learning lots of stuff. And I have signed up, and I've been listening to some money breakthroughs with a lady, and they mentioned a book. So Denise had mentioned a book, and the other people in the groups were mentioning a book called Witches by Lisa Lister. So I've started reading that, and that is amazing. And considering that most of the people on My Time TV are doing card readings and doing some sort of the tarot and mediumship, but yes, I am also spiritual, and you know, I always say, yes, I am a witch, but I'm a green witch. But you see, but I decide, and I know I'm a healer, but one of the things that I would really like to help heal with is with women that hold themselves back through self-limiting beliefs, and give them the self-awareness and the courage to step forth in their own power. And so that's what I would like my talks to be about, not card readings. So I love card readings, and I love playing with them, as you know, Ros, but it's not something that I would like to build, is the confidence of stepping out in your own personal power.
Yeah, I just noticed Dare writing up the question. Lisa, who? You probably have to put that link in there again later, or if it's a link to somebody, put it in there later.
So the book is called Witch Unleashed. So Witch as one word, by Lisa Lister. Lisa Lister. Yeah. So she's written another book, and that she often talks about. But a lot of people were talking about the witch wound, and the wound that often most of us feel when we talk about just stepping forth in our own power and speaking out. Because what she was saying is over 14 million women through England and Europe were murdered, were all accused of being witches. And so it's taught us as women to stay quiet, to be fearful of speaking out in our own power. So, and I remember, Ros, you used to say to me years ago that it was something that you wanted to do, was give empowerment to the voice. And when you did your sound therapy and everything, it was to give women that opportunity to talk and find the voice that had been stemmed down. So, you know, and that's kind of thing.
Yeah, as you're saying that too, it brings to mind the Her Story Global Women's Empowerment Conference that Adair's referring to. Her guest this morning on which is in the comments as well. Now I can't remember the guest. Gertrude was putting forward that's where she was working and wanting to allow, you know, to assist women to actually get their stories out, but like it was the voice. Because I have gone back to actually re-watching some of the workshops that I'd enrolled in with Chloe Goodchild, which is to do with finding the soul voice, I suppose, was the one that I'm actually replaying, just to remind myself of some of that base that I want to go back to. And she's got some further workshops, of course. It's just allowing that what is the essence of your vibrations, the sound that it creates, to actually come forward. It's not so much a story as such, But I'm sure that once we actually work out that the vibration is that base of it, and to create a story, you're using your voice, and that moves you forward again there in what can be very deep self-awareness, of what your patterns are, of what your beliefs have been and what you're wanting to change them to. So it's a hell of a lot of potential there in things that you can actually do for yourself, that in the end run, you're not actually having to spend money all the time, but just learn some techniques and develop it so that you're working together with others to create that story as well, knowing who you are yourself. So, and having that self-confidence and awareness.
Yeah, exactly right. I found that I'm very happy to chat with other people and talk and everything. And I'm actually have spoken online before, but it's been some time. It's probably been 2 years since I've done a Facebook Live. And I've the opportunity to talk on Be Live with our group, with Adair and yourself and the others. I jumped at it, but then I've balked at not doing it. And so it's interesting that some of the work that I've had to go through just to get myself here, which it's not even problematic for me to do it, but I just wanted to, it's like, what holds you back? And it's interesting to think that it's years of oppression and all of those sort of things that just make us so fearful to step up into our own power. And, we can do it. So I'm going to say hello to Jessica and to Robin and Adair as well. Thank you for joining us today. It's lovely that you're here.
And too, as far as with using the BeLive.tv platform, how easy it is to get in and do the Facebook Lives into
people's
Facebook. Into Facebook. It does direct you into Facebook as one of the platforms that are used, and the other one is Twitch. The whole process is just so easy. You really do only need your Chrome browser that hosts, that holds the BeLive TV programming side of it. You log in, you create your broadcast, you've got a camera, you've got a microphone, the headsets or little earpods or whatever you're going to use for the feedback, and you can have guests on. It's just so easy. You can share the screen and go live. Put your purpose out there. And even with the way that we're doing it through the mytimetv.live, it's going through to the binge networks if we've subscribed to that part of the extra as well. So
no pressure.
So many ways that we're getting it out there. What was that?
No pressure, Roz.
There's no pressure at all. I mean, that's only on 50 stations, around 50. What is it? Adair might need to answer that one.
It's a lot.
It goes to various platforms. So, I mean, it's the opportunity actually for others to be able to access in so many different ways. It's, the pressure isn't there because you don't know who's looking, you don't know who's watching, picking up, watching replays, especially your tarot readings and the rest. I sort of think, really, would they? And yet people do. And, you just don't know who is going to be interested in whatever subject that that you're an expert in, or even if you're not an expert, that that you've got a passion for and you can put out in a way that others are going to be interested and listen and learn. Because it's not just chatting. It can be for education. It can be for awareness. It can be for fundraising. It can be, monetizing if you want to. Well, Twitch can. There's so much opportunity out there. We need to be taking advantage of it because, number one, it's actually fun. I love doing the live. and putting it out.
I agree. It is fun. And it would be nice. So if anyone is around that would like me to chat to them about self-awareness or anything else, please pop a comment below, and later on I can check when a time would be convenient. And you could be a guest or something like that we could chat to. And, even if the chatting is between the three of us, or it could be like something that we could do together, that would be fine. So I just want to reiterate again, 50 channels on TV on demand. Like, hey, no pressure.
Well, look, and the other thing too, that when you mention for people who are interested in having a chat that's a video connection, yeah, over 50 channels, so it is a lot. It just gives a variety of ways people can access what is in their interest area. But I think there are many of us who are putting out our coaching, life, mentorship, business, what would it be, digital marketing businesses. There's so much variety in what's able to be done on internet, working online and things like that. But, there are times when you actually need to have a little private meeting with someone. And even with the Be Live, we've discovered that you can actually create that private closed Facebook group that's a meeting between one-on-one, or a little mini group to have a meeting. It doesn't have to be a Zoom. It doesn't have to be something else. There's your one membership for Be Live being even extended further into other areas that you can use. And then the person that you're having the meeting with's got a recording available if you give them the link for it later. It's those sorts of opportunities too that extend the type of services you can actually give to people that you can earn from it if that's the style of business that you're in or service. So I just find it intriguing that there's so many different ways that we can interact with people, but also in a way that we too can actually earn our living from it if that's what we want to do, or just for plain pleasure, having fun. I just have fun with it at the moment, but hey, gee, I'm going to want to starting to earn something from it at some point too, because it's a right that we all have to be able to earn what our living is. In what ways we can. Society is changing itself. The different types of jobs and work that's around is going to change too. So keep with the flow, keep up to date with what we know. And good ways of doing that is with business coaches and other areas like that.
And that's
researching.
I agree, Ros. It's one of the things, and having the self-confidence and the self-assertiveness to actually step out of your comfort zone and talk to other people. And you'll find that the more and that's what I'm hoping to do over the period of time, is that talking with people, realizing that all of us have those fears. It doesn't matter which part of the world we're living. We all have those insecurities, the same insecurities and the same problems about stepping out into our own personal power. And, being aware of what is holding you back and being aware of what is pushing you forward. So, read the end of jobs.
A lot of it's chat. What's that? Because I'm looking down here because the comments are on the bottom of my iPad, which is down there, obviously. That's the funny thing with getting used to being a guest and not having as much available there to see in the back end of what is a guest area of the Be Live TV is even less than what the host has. So I am cheating and looking at the iPad, keeping an eye on it. It's the interactivity that we have with being able to do that, have that interaction of people putting chats in a conversation and keeping that flow of, and I can't see, not that I'm looking intently because my glasses are actually foggy. I think I need to test my eyes again. Questions? Is there any questions?
You've been saying that for a while.
I know, I've got to do it. I'm just sitting, it's only that far away. It's blurry.
I haven't had, there is a question about a reading, which as we were talking about, where we're not actually doing readings at this moment in time. We're actually just introducing myself to you as the community, as a self-awareness coach, so that you can have a chat or listen to some of our ideas that we are talking about and seeing whether you like what we're discussing and whether it resonates with you as a community out there, because we really high, and it's really nice to be here in your living areas or on your phones or however you're looking at us. It's a pleasure to be in your life. and we are just introducing ourselves again. As I said, I'm Sharon Bremner, and this is Ros Boundy, and we are good friends, and we talk often, and Ros has been pushing me to step up because I've been so concerned about having everything all in a row that I haven't actually been out here, and 3 months has passed and nearly into April, and here I am going, okay, I'm going to start. And Adair's been saying start, so here I am. I've started.
And guess what?
And it's the past the time. I don't even know how much time has gone past, but
the perfect time to start anything is now. Start what you want to do with the ideas that you've got. I mean, certainly some things do need to have some tools and whatnot behind it, but with this live streaming and that, the perfect time to start is now with what you have already in your grasp, what you have on a computer, on a phone. Admittedly, with Be Live TV, you do have to have a desktop to start the broadcasts. It's not possible from a mobile device yet. That may come at some point, but keep an eye on that. It's possible to do everything from just your computer with whatever the camera is in it on your phone as a guest. You've got the camera, built-in mics. It's not a problem. The perfect time is now. Just start. Yeah. Which it's great to see you doing the live on the My Time TV.
And Robin's just put a question up saying, what is a self-awareness coach? Thank you for asking that, Robin. So basically, I have decided that one of the things that was always being asked of me is my thoughts and my ideas on life and how I can put it forward with it, and helping women, mainly women, because I have men clients as well, but it's mainly with women that have problems in just looking after themselves and putting themselves forward and having the confidence and having the awareness of how they're feeling and how they're coping with everyday life, and some of the questions of feeling unsure about themselves and feeling, what is it for me? What am I hiding? How do I deal with a particular problem? And so that's the kind of thing that I have decided to put together and talk about. And while I'm talking about it with people like yourself and other people, I'll be putting together small hypnosis, self-hypnosis things for helping you build your confidence and building your feeling calm and not so anxious. There's so many people feeling so anxious today because they are, like myself, wanting to have all their ducks in a row, and not necessarily is that possible to have everything perfect before you do anything. And being aware of what your triggers are. So if you are more self-aware, you're able to keep yourself a little calmer and tackle some of the problems and some of the situations in your life that you come across. So I hope that helps a little bit with your question.
And
I
think too, as far as like you're a self-awareness coach, there's some others who are different styles of coaching. I think Adair could probably be under a bit more of a label of the business coach, social media, you know, the Facebook code breakers. It is a coaching platform of sorts. The creation of the My Time TV channel, it's like a channel, but it is a Facebook page that we're all feeding into under Adair's guidance. It's going to create that variety of who is going to be on there doing various, you know, topics and I wouldn't say services, but it is, yes, predominantly at the moment there's a lot of psychic mediums, there's coaching, and I know there's someone who is, and I can't remember the name, I know that she's got her video on the My Time TV live pinned probably about the skin and healthcare along that line. So there's that. I know there's Love Lali as far as putting on a regular meditation on Monday mornings, I think. So there's going to be an increased variety as time goes on. I don't know exactly what else Adair might have as plans for that, but for people to be aware of the amount of variety that we're going to be having and keeping an eye on mytimetv.live and what even you yourself might be offering, what I myself might be offering, other than just the, you know, at the moment it is a predominant the cards and, you know, a chat and cards and readings and that with Leanne. But there's ideas I've got even of extending that to other things. So keep an eye on it all. You'll find there will be a lot more variety happening on the mytimetv.live. And, you know, what else are you going to be doing? If you've got other areas that you're planning to do more lives with?
Myself?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking me? Yes, I look.
You're on the spot. I like that.
I'm a mature-aged woman, so I have a good opinion about things. And as an entrepreneur, we tend to jump towards the bright, shiny things. So one of the things that I have decided to try and do is target which bright, shiny things has caught me. So the self-awareness is something that I find many of my clients have asked me about, questions on how they like my perspective on things and how I can put it together for them. So therefore, I decided, why not put some of my opinions and put some of my thoughts and the way I have dealt with things over my life into some sort of situation, you know, into some sort of course and things like that. So I'm still building those courses. So part of the marketing and getting people to know is people don't buy courses just because you put a fancy name on it. They put courses, they like to have a look and know who you are. So I figure part of my growth will be part of their growth by being live on this first, and we can chat and get to know, and then it'll, with some of the questions, that will be what my courses and stuff will be built around as well. So, you know, those are the things that I'll be doing.
I think a lot of it comes down to, you know, asking the questions. What are people actually really needing, you know, as far as their questions go? What areas are they looking toward to have some help? You know, it's collaboration. It's knowing, sometimes it's not knowing what the questions are we actually want to ask. Somebody else asks them first.
That's right.
And that's a good way of going with it. The LOL that Adair puts out a lot, you know, we're all learning out loud as we're growing into getting our lives happening.
Yeah, exactly right. And the thing is, if I'm in a classroom, Ros, I'm usually the first one to ask the question, because I don't have a problem with talking out loud.
I've been with you to a few classrooms. It's all right.
and yeah, I don't have a problem with talking out loud and asking a question and doing all of those kind of things. But this kind of platform enables other people to type something into their keyboard and put forth a question to someone without feeling too scared, because they don't want to do it in a classroom situation. So I'm hoping that over the next few weeks and as we build things up, people get to know who I am. They get to feel comfortable with wanting to talk with me and to me, and we can interact, and then we can build on that self-awareness and learning, and basically for them to learn themselves and understand themselves better. And that is another thing of what a self-awareness coach is. They ask some of those probing questions, the questions that we often hide behind other people or hide behind busyness and don't actually achieve.
So it's all good. And the potential, I just noticed a subject that's going to be coming up. I can't see who's replying to Nita. Yeah, see, that's where I haven't got the context on the list of what the chat is, because I'm not watching that. I'm actually part of a show. And that's where some of the focus is actually creating that chat and interaction this end of it as a guest and a host. But there, I get myself confused quite a bit, very easily. That's why with Leanne, it's nice to have. She keeps a bit more track of it than I do. Just wondering about that one. Has Adair actually put a comment in there that we can show on stream as far as a rough timeline when that's happening or not?
What's happening?
I just noticed. I think it's Adair is actually replying to Nita. It's a new weight loss series coming soon. Love yourself lean. It's tweaked my interest. I mean, over the years, being a bigger girl that I am too, and having gone through the yo-yo syndrome and everything, I just give up. I don't bother with any of that sort of stuff now, because I realise for myself there's possibly something else to do with that medically, or with background health, but it's still something to be aware of, that it's not. What was the thing? Love yourself, lean. It comes back to underlying current of something, and that there's another part of a self-awareness thing, or of a that sort of thing that comes into even self-awareness coaching. But and I don't know who is putting that one on, and it's tweaked my interest, and I'm sort of thinking, oh, that does sound interesting. Not that I want to go on a diet anymore, but it's not saying anything about a diet, and it's got me interest now. I want to know more.
And as soon as they say to yourself, love yourself lean and don't eat particular food, you'll say, I'm not doing that.
If it cuts out dairy, I'm not doing that.
I know. I've heard you say that before.
I know you have. No, but it's still actually, the things that we can actually share in this sort of a medium, doing live shows, doing workshops that are online, doing private classes and enrolling online courses and all of the rest of it. I mean, it's just such a variety of ways that we can actually follow what is our interests. For those that really are interested in their health and wanting to eat a particular way, like the keto or the whatever, I mean, it's just labels for different patterns and ways, but we've got that possibility to follow whatever we want to and search and actually tend to our own needs. And I think that's where that probably intrigued me, because it's the self-love thing again, because it does go back into, part of what I've been learning and experienced with the hypnosis, the hypnotherapy training I had, as well as other types of things I've gone through, shaman work and things like that. You've got such a large area that it goes back to something else, and you always, it feels like you're always searching, but there does come a point where your needs are met. We just need to keep looking sometimes, or have somebody help us, guide us, and voila, we might have, you don't know what question to ask until someone else asks it.
That's exactly right. And that's another thing, as I'm saying, is all being aware of your situation and everything else. You can read what Adair's saying.
I don't have 15 cheeses. It's probably only 3, but I still have them. Yes.
And I used to give her a hard time about the amount of milk that she drinks, which, and now I'm trying the bulletproof coffee, and oh lordy Lord, did I notice that I had bulletproof coffee this morning. So
yes, yeah.
And I also, as I said to you before, I'm listening to that book about written by Lister, and Lister, I think she is Lisa Lister, and she was saying, hold your, like your pelvic girdle and like give it love and all that kind of stuff. I did that, and I'm pretty sure that was all about getting rid of some shit in my life. So that's exactly, I'm there. Whoa, that wasn't quite what I was expecting today. So hence I'm here, lighter and more fuller, and here with you all to pass on stuff. So it's what's that?
I was just there is a conversation happening a bit there, and I saw the little bit that Adair's written. I'm keen to have presenters for gardening, craft, comedy. Well, a few of those I could probably do something about. Yes. Look, if you want to know how to kill your garden, I'm it.
So bad, people. Do not listen to Roz about gardening. Let me tell you.
I did water the lawn this morning.
This is a self-proclaimed green witch that really loves her garden and her plants and talks to them, and Roz is not one.
Which they're not really easy. You how to keep them going, me how to kill them.
Yeah.
Including
so
grain.
I've got a question here from Adair that says, what is bulletproof coffee? So basically it is increasing the natural fats into your day, Adair. So basically what they say is to add, they say build it up. Of course, I don't build anything up. I go into straight away. But basically what they do is you add a tablespoon of unsalted butter, so preferably grass-fed, but I haven't found anything that says grass-fed in the Woolworths here. So a tablespoon of grass-fed butter and a tablespoon of coconut oil, or it can be the MCL oil, which is a derivative of coconut oil. And then you pour hot coffee over it till about halfway up, and then you will either put it with the stick blender for a few minutes to blend it all through, or you can put it into your NutriBullet or anything like that to buzz it all around. But it has to emulsify through and make it all creamy and frothy. And then you fill up your cup, and preferably not with anything that is sugar or the sugar derivatives, but you can, like use stevia or something like that if you need it sweetened. But basically you drink that, and often when you drink that, you don't need to eat breakfast because of that high amount of fat. And you may be able to do, instead of doing intermittent fasting where you're starving, you've actually got those good fats in your body, and you might be able to make it. And some people eat only between 12 and 8 in the day. So that is one of the things that I've been trying. And last week I did really well in it. I didn't actually feel like lunch. I didn't even eat lunch until about 1 o'clock. But yesterday and the day before, yesterday pretty well, I was hungry, so I ate. And they don't tell you to be hungry. They say if you need to eat, you eat. So I ate. And, and I was fine. But
till this morning.
I might have increased my natural fats a little bit too much yesterday.
Yeah. I'm just noticing on the iPad, and I just want to point out to Adair as a comment from me to her as I'm looking at these comments on the side, because I haven't got the back end of it. But what I'm getting is that every comment that Adair is making, it's actually showing up to me as replying to Nita. So I'm wondering if Adair actually hasn't got replying to everyone as the option in however she's actually putting her comments in the comment stream. It's just something I've noticed there for the first time. So I thought I'd point it out just to mention it, to see if that was the case. Almost a Facebook code breakers moment here in your show. But that is what it's looking like. So whether Adair it's not technically that she's having a conversation with Nita, but it's not ticked as public or everyone or something. Just a comment. Yeah, the bulletproof coffee is really delicious, and I wanted to just add, I have tried it with a half a teaspoon of turmeric mixed into it as well, because I really like turmeric as a flavour, and I did add a little extra cinnamon too. So there are little ways of extending the flavour to how you might like it a bit nicer tasting, maybe, if you're not into the coconut oil butter flavour. Ghee is another alternative as well, I think, to the salt-free coffee, butter, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. It's look, the health people have told us that we need to be on for so many years, low fat and all of that kind of stuff. So I had got used to that. And then when they started talking about particular things about the low fat, you start to realize how much sugar is put in low fat because they've taken out the natural fats. And I do beauty as well. So I do massage and beauty as well here in my clinic. And I've noticed that the signs of aging is often because we get very much we haven't got enough natural fats in our skin, and we get very dehydrated. So I've must have been good with the natural fats, because I haven't actually aged too much, thank God. But it's, so I'm thinking, oh, good, I've been doing well. But like if I I'm sort of I've been noticing over the last 10 days that my skin seems a lot better, because the older you get, the less oils that you actually excrete. So, like your skin goes drier on your arms and all of those kind of things. So it's actually quite good to have more massages. Have more massages.
I need a massage, let alone more.
Well, there you are. That's even more.
One is more than none. Yeah, so true.
Skin is our largest organ. So, the more massaging that we give to it, the more blood flow we have to it, so the healthier we feel. So therefore, that increases blood flow, but also encouraging some of the natural fats back into our diet. And one of the things that I was looking at 2 weeks ago was this naturopath that was promoting bringing bringing back more fat and doing low carbohydrates. So I thought I'd give it a go, and I certainly need to lose quite a few kilos. So hopefully everybody can watch me shrink as the time that I'm chatting to them. So I haven't stopped the broadcast in the fact that you have to wait till I reach a certain weight. I'm actually here live with you, so that's fine. So yeah. But it is, as I said, being aware of yourself, being aware of your body, being aware of how you tick. So self-awareness is a whole package. So I'm getting back to our topic now instead of bulletproof coffee and killing plants.
Yes.
So over the next few months, I will be discussing with you different topics, and I better go now because people are ringing me. And excuse me while I
coming soon. We were squeezing this into time that was spare, so to speak. So glad we could make it. Glad that you have actually gone live. Congratulations on your first live in your more official capacity on mytimetv.live.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to us, and thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you all again soon. It's lovely to have some people from India, lovely to have people from, where did we have? We had India, we had...
I think there was there a South African or not? I just can't remember.
And a South African lady as well. So it was really lovely. And Adair from Adelaide. Here she goes, learning out loud and living out loud. Yay. So anyway, it was really nice to see everybody. Thank you all again, and we look forward to catching you at another time more convenient for you all.
Yeah,
this worked well for me.
And me, I'm in front of a screen a lot. Thanks everyone.
All right, thank you everybody. Bye.